Good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the Yogspack Complete. First of all, I want to make an apology for my videos not being as regular as they usually are. I've been very busy over the past couple of weeks, and it seems to have getting busier and busier, so the past week I've had no time to actually upload anything to the channel. So my apologies on that. Don't worry, everything is fine. I have absolutely no idea what that is. Oh Jesus, I'm taking an absolute pound in there. I have no idea what that liquid is in that barrel, but it shouldn't be there. But anyway, getting on to today, things have changed. As you can see, I have an ME system set up here, and I've been toying around with a few little bits and pieces. The basic factories, I think due to the update, was a bit of a problem, so I need to start relearning myself how to actually use the factories properly. I know how to do it, it's just for some reason the setup in which I try and configure it just never seems to work, so I'm going to leave that for a later date. So instead, what I'm going to teach you today is how to make one of these that you see in front of me, which is the ME controller, access terminal, drive and crafting terminal. So basically the idea of the setup that I'd like is that eventually everything could be automated all by itself, so that I could have a room full of machines, and then I'd go up to the crafting terminal and ask for, say, I don't know, say I wanted an enriched alloy, so then the system would put in the, I'll just open it up for you now, the system will put the redstone in automatically, put the iron in, and then it would be enriched, taken out, and then put back into the computer. So by doing that you could also queue it up to use those alloys in machines as well. So that's the eventual goal with that one. But for now, I'm going to teach you today how to start off your ME controller, your ME access terminal, and your ME crafting terminal. So I'm going to go to a crafting table if I still have one. What is that in there? Willow wood. What's this? Magic wood and silver logs. And that green thing down there. Now I think my texture pack's gone a bit weird, to be honest with you, and those skeletons are really getting on my nerves. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is, now this crafting terminal, if I open it up you can see we've got a crafting grid and everything is contained inside this computer. Now for this to actually function you need the controller, which is what everything hooks into and receives power, just like a computer. So as you can see, I've got the ME drive, which is to the right of me. We've got the crafting terminal, which I was just in, and the access terminal here, so I could access it anywhere if I had another terminal set up. This in the drive, you make drivers. These are the smallest ones, so they're 4K. As you can see, some of them are full, some of them aren't. In fact, most of them are full, so it stores types and up to 496 bits. So as long as you don't go over that, or bytes even, as long as you don't go over that, then you can have as many of that particular item as you like, of 64 or 63 different types. That 64K fluid drive is very expensive to make, but I found that raiding a dungeon while I was off mining materials and things. But anyway, right, so the first thing we're going to need is an ME controller. So I'm going to use the crafting table so you can see it and get used to it being used, because I'll be using this a lot. So in the top you've got a way of sorting things, so you can sort by the priority and by the item ID, by the item name, by the number of items. So I normally have it as item ID. That means everything that is part of a mod pretty much all comes up together, like all the ores, heat generators, which I've got a lot of. I'll explain that in later. These are encoded patterns, but we'll also go into that later on. So what we're going to need is a cutting knife. There we go. So, oh, I should really take myself out of cheat mode to avoid things like that happening. So I'm going to do that very, very quickly and just put myself into recipe mode. Excellent. So there we go, cutting. Right, so we need 2 sticks, either Certus quartz or never. So I think I'll keep it like that. So if we delete this, then we get everything back. Down here there is a search box. I've got NEI synchronized auto, which means wherever I type in, the NEI will still work and show me what it is that I've requested and how to craft it. So we need some Certus quartz, we need some iron, which I know I have up here in the vanilla stuff somewhere. Or do I? Do I not? Do I not have any iron? I've got to have some iron somewhere. It's a bar. No, apparently I don't have any iron bars, but I do have a lot of iron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pulverise half of that. If that's still hooked up, which it is, perfect. And I'm going to go throw a little bit in the smeltery as well. So what have we got in there? We've got manulian, which we can use to make tools, and cobalt. So if I just stick all that in there, it means I'll have plenty of iron to sort this with. So all this is being pumped out into either or of these chests at the moment, and just cook some of that up. Perfect. Throw that back with a shift click and get rid of all the stuff in my hand. Don't need torches, and that should be all I need for now. So as soon as we've got some iron bars, which I thought I actually had, but apparently I don't. There we go, got some iron bars, we've got some gold in there as well. Right, so, go back to the crafting terminal. We need an iron bar at the top, and we also need, everything shuffling itself around, 2 sticks, which makes a quartz cutting knife. So we'll make 2 of them, and we'll put 1 of them in the computer. Click X to clear. So now we have a free grid again. So we want an ME space, and that should bring up everything within the ME. So we want to create first the ME controller. So for this, we're going to need an ME advanced processor, which is a diamond redstone chip, silicon, and fluix dust. So we want advan. So that should bring up the chip somewhere along here. So an advanced processor. Now we can make this a different way with the knife. This is the easy way to do it. So this is an assembly. So the difference between the chip and the assembly is you need to burn the silicon off this. So if we just put that there, and we have the ghost of it, we can find necessary resources. So a diamond. We're also going to need a silicon, or a piece of silicon, which I have, and I'll show you what silicon's made up of in a second. And we also need some redstone, so that shouldn't be too hard to come by. There we go. So now we have the advanced processor assembly, and as you can see, I still have the resources to make them. So if you actually do as well inside the computer, if you shift click, it will automatically put the recipe in for you. So if we go over to the redstone furnace, the processor, put it in and burn off all of the silicon around it, which will then take it out and turn it into just the processor itself. So we have the processor. Let's go back into the crafting terminal, and we want to put in ME again, and then we want to find, ME under space. Want to find the controller, so click the controller and then shift, in fact actually no we can't yet, fluix crystals. So shift click the fluix crystal, and as you can see that's just automatically put the recipe there. So we've got redstone, certus quartz and nether quartz. So we're going to need 4 of them. So let's put them back into the computer. Back to the ME recipe. So we go back to the controller. Now that we have all the parts, we can shift click it. And one thing that we were missing is the chip. Now because that's in my inventory, it won't automatically put it there. You actually have to have it in the computer. So if we put them together, you've got 4 iron in the corners, 4 of these fluix crystals, and that will create you the controller. So now we have an ME controller. Clear that recipe. And go back to the search bar and type in ME again. The next thing we're going to need is the access terminal. So just left click. We're going to need a conversion matrix. Now this can get quite complicated when you're building these machines, so there might be points where it would be advisable to stop the video that you're watching and just look at the materials that are in there. So we need to make some fluix dust, so shift click. We can make this, which is nether quartz, certus quartz and redstone. Now the nether quartz, all you do is you put it into a crusher and it'll crush it down into a powder. So we can only make 1 of them because we only have enough nether quartz for 1, which is actually quite surprising. So I'm going to take 64 of that out and pop it into the pulverizer. That should pulverize some nether quartz for me quite nicely. And we got some more pulverized iron there, we've got some more pulverized iron there, and as you can see, we're starting to get some nether quartz. So this iron is just going to get popped in there for now. And we're going to take some more of this dust, go between the 2 chests. There we go. So now we have enough nether quartz dust to just get on with it. So that can go into the computer with a shift click. And then, of course, because sometimes I'm a bit of an idiot, we have to find it again. So we're going to make, say, 10, 12 fluix dust. So it will come in handy. The basic processes you can do in exactly the same way. So we are actually going to need to make a few of these. But before we do that, I'm going to go take care of these monsters because it appears they'll give my frame rate a beating. So come here, you little bastards. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, have that. Have that. Right, I'm also going to take up these windmills. I don't know why, but for some reason these windmills create a very intense amount of lag these days, which is not something that you want when you're making videos. Over there, they are magical crops. That's something that I'll branch into at a later date. Let's gather all your materials and get back as quick as we can. I just hear another skeleton. I believe I did, but we'll have to leave him be for now. There we go, that's better. Now my frame rate's sorted, now I've got rid of those windmills. So, we've got plenty of dust that we shall need. So we can pop that back in the computer. Now to make silicon, all we need for the silicon is, when I can actually find it in the too many items. Where are you, Mr. Silicon? There is alternative ways of doing these, which is using the assembly tables and stuff, but that is a very expensive way of doing things, and we don't want to do that. So there we go, there it is. Now, silicon ball. That is the wrong type of silicon because it's applied in logistics that we want. So what I'm going to do is just open up my inventory and press R on it. So nether quartz or certus quartz dust, smelted in many different ways. So any type of smelting device will make these pieces of silicon. So we'll go back in and we want ME in the space. Then once we've done that, we want to go back a page and we want to create the access terminal, was it? Yes. Right, so to create the access terminal we're going to need a basic processor. So this is what I meant by the silicon chips. That's a very expensive way of doing it. This way is a very cheap way of doing it. So if we click on that, all it is gold, redstone, and a piece of silicon. So we can shift click that, and we have them. So I'm going to take 4, because that's all I have at the moment. Put them back in. Then I always do that. I've been playing a lot of other games as well, getting some footage on different bits and pieces. Like, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I had a bit of a break from Minecraft, and then things got a bit hairy real world wise, or IRL. So like I said, I had to disappear for a bit, but I'm now starting my batch recordings again, so that won't be a problem. And we're going to put them in the computer, we're going to put them in the computer, and that in the computer. We're also going to put the windmills and the spider iron. Right, so put down ME space, enter, and the access terminal. Conversion matrix. So now we know how to make this. We can shift click. So iron in the corners, fluix dust either side, basic processor in the middle, nether quartz and certus quartz top and bottom. So now that we've got that, we'll make 2 of them. We'll put them in the computer, clear the recipe as usual, ME again, and then access terminal. So now we need an ME cable, which is 3 fluix dust and some glass. We can definitely make that. So glass at the top, fluix in the middle, glass at the bottom. Here's a lot of recipes to remember. So and there is a lot of learning involved in this, but that's why the tutorials are here, for your benefit. And also thank you very much for all the lovely comments people have been leaving. It's muchly appreciated. Muchly appreciated. It makes the effort of doing things much better, and I love you all to bits, so thank you. So well, I'm getting carried away with a bit of praise. We're going to make the terminal. So we have the glass in the 3 sides, we've got iron in the right hand part in the middle, on top and bottom, the ME cable at the side, and the conversion matrix, so we can make an access terminal. Now the next piece of this equation is ME again with the space. Then we've got the crafting terminal. Now this is the basis for pretty much the computer. So we have these, we're going to need another access terminal, so what I'm just going to do is shift click on the access terminal. So we're going to make another one, so that's 2 access terminals. That's why I made the 2 conversion matrices, and then we are going to now make the crafting terminal. So this storage cell is one thing I know we don't have in there. So that's redstone in the corners, certus quartz in the I'm going back to the days of the old number pad. Redstone in the corners, certus quartz as a plus with the basic processor in the middle, which I can do. So I'm going to take one of them, put an access terminal in the computer, put that in the computer as well. And as you can see, I'm running out of certus quartz, so I will have to do a little bit of off-camera mining. Then we have there it is, crafting. So if we shift click that, the one thing we do not have is a crafting table. So I'm just going to quickly take a crafting table up. Now as you can see, it's like the Tinker's construct, it will stay in the actual crafting grid itself. So now with this crafting terminal we have the basis for the computer. So let's where can we put this? We're not going to need it up here, but for the purpose of example, we're going to plug in. Now the only thing that needs power as well is this, the controller. Everything else gets done by itself. So if we line that up like that, we're going to, do I actually have any in that? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to nick a bit of wire from here, get rid of these, don't need the lasers just yet, so not to confuse people. Damn it, didn't actually want to do that, my bad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Roof. My bad. Right, go and pick these bits and pieces up. I did actually, as you've probably seen from me examining the barrels and everything going a bit weird, that I have actually upgraded things slightly. So, but that's just me being me messing around with stuff. I'm going to take these cables out. These are the advanced universal cable, whereas these ones that I have in my hand now, the green ones, are the basics. It just flows more power through. So now, as you can see, the controller has maximum amount of power in it, which means we can now use this to craft and control things. So there is one more thing we need, and that one more thing would be this little box here, which is the ME drive. So if we go back into the terminal, we want an ME and drive. So this uses two processes, a chest, glass, iron, and that is pretty simple to make. Now we have everything that I need, so I'm going to take that. And the other thing we need is the very basic 4K, should do it, which it does. So we have a 4K storage drive. I've got a 64K storage drive, but we're not going to be making one of them because they are very expensive. So these require a storage segment, which is made up of 3 storage cells, redstone, glass, and ME basic processor. So can we actually make 3 of these? This is the question. So apparently I do not have enough Certus quartz. Do I not have enough Certus quartz? Do I have dust? I wonder if I can smelt. No, the dust is going to make silicon balls. So we need to just nip outside. I do have another mine set up, which I'm going to put fence posts and wooden scaffolding, etc. into to make it look a bit more like a mine. So let's take a trip downstairs, shall we? Let's have a look. Certus quartz. Where would you be? It's quite common. Ah, there we go. Certus quartz. Perfect. Can we find a little bit more? I don't have any torches on me, unfortunately. Do any more in these walls where it's nice and lit up? There will be some somewhere. It's going to be just my luck that I can't find any more now. Let's go down a little bit deeper. We have to go deeper. Right. So we just take out a little bit of this. I should do it. Now I can make a staircase back up. Oh. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. As you can see, I blocked that off because it was very dangerous. Is there any Certus quartz in the wall there? No? Well, if I can't find any walking through this shaft, then I'm going back topside. Or am I? No, because I need a little bit more than what I thought I actually might. Hello? Anything down here? Oh, I don't think there is. Is there any in these walls? No? Right, it's quite typical that whenever you want something, you're never able to find it. Typical sod's law. Right, so let's go down a little bit deeper. Explore the caves. Right, is there going to be any down here? Oh. Just as a heads up as well, there will be a server play being done with my partner Spirits. So I hope you all look forward to that, as it's going to be a lot of fun building an industrial sector. So basically we're going to automate absolutely everything you could possibly imagine, which is going to be very interesting and a lot of hard work. So I think I'll pinch some of that redstone while I'm there. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but it's going to be worth it. That is being put onto the Time Lord Zombie server as well. So if you want to apply for that, then you have to apply for a whitelist. So you go on TLZ or Time Lord Zombies on Facebook and ask for Tech, and he'll sort it out for you. Very friendly community. I love being part of them. They're awesome. Even though I'm part of Circuit Nuts and the head of Circuit Nuts, I got pretty much picked up through the Time Lord Zombies, and I will never go back, to be honest. I've made some really, really good friends in that server. Really good friends. So, you're all great guys. I love you to bits. Now, it doesn't look like we're actually going to find any more Certus quartz down here. So, let's go take a trip upstairs. Quite surprised there aren't any mobs around. Normally they defy the law of torches and just spawn everywhere. Especially when I'm filming. Right, so what do we have down here? Aha! Certus quartz. And a fair bit of it as well, actually. Awesome. So how many is that? 15? 15 going to be enough? Let's find out. So what were we making? It wasn't that, it was a 4K. So that's made up of, so that's 4 is 8. Right, we need 12. Oh, which coincidentally we have enough of. So for the sake of actually trying to get back out of here, I'm going to teleport myself home. Oh, that didn't work. There we go, that worked. Bloody hell, that was quick. And shut the door to stop any unfriendly buggers getting in here. So, to the crafting terminal. There we go, now we can make the storage cells. So I'm going to put the rubies and everything else that I found into the computer. So I want 3 of these all day. That being a term I actually learnt from my last job. So apologies if you do not know what that means. It is actually American for however many you actually need. So we're going to need some more basic processes. So basic is probably the easiest way to find them. There we go, basic assembly. So question mark that one. We need some more silicon, which is not a problem. Should still have some quartz. There we go. So let's smelt some of that down. I think actually I'll use the basic factory to smelt that down. Where are they going? There they are. Back to the computer, pop them in, and make another couple of these while we can. Perfect. So we want the recipe for not R, but for the basic. So we want basic assemblies, we've got them. So actually, my bad, we do need the ME. In fact, no we don't, we need the 4K. This is what I mean, it gets very, very confusing. So there we are. Now, to make a storage segment, we have most of it. There's the rest of them. We'll go back and we shall, of course, don't have the basic processes. So the want the 4K storage drive, There we go. That's the recipe we need. So, easy and convenient computers. I highly advise it that you make one as soon as you can, once you've got some power established. So there we go. Now we have that. We can go back to 4K. Then we can make this beauty, which is the storage segment. So, storage segment there, I didn't shift click, as you could probably tell. And we want the basic. Where are you? There we go. We've got the basic processor. Wipe that out. And a piece of glass, which makes the storage segment. So we'll take that, throw it back in the computer. Then we need 4K again. It always reminds me of Tekkit, this. Always. Which I loved. I loved Tekkit, it was amazing. So, 2 pieces of glass in the top corners. Redstone. Oh, we've got some more redstone there. Redstone in a tray around the middle, which is the storage segment. Then iron on the bottom makes 4K storage. So, now that we've made that, we can go upstairs. Oh, hello, you little bugger. How the hell did you get in here? Did you get in here through here? Hello. Oh, there's a couple of fellas there. What's that on your head? Is that a cat? Got a cat on his head. Didn't think creepers liked cats. Right, anyway, sorry, getting distracted. Put that glowstone helmet on. My textures I will actually get sorted very soon. I did find a pack, but it didn't work. Now, as you can see, those computers changed for a split second there. That means they've registered that this ME drive is part of it. So now you have the basic setup that I have downstairs. So if you were to go into the crafting terminal, you could put all your bits and pieces in there, and you'd be able to freely craft. So I hope that was helpful, everyone. And it's one of these things that, you know, ideally you should have, because it makes life a hell of a lot easier. So I will be going into a bit more of the advanced computer stuff as the series goes along, but for now I think I'll stick to the basics of DME, and slowly but surely we'll get more and more updated. And perfect timing actually, because the rain's just started. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, favourite, subscribe, keep us supported and going. You know, for the people that have so far, thank you very much. I've got something special on the way. I'm not sure whether everyone's into hip-hop music, but I have a rather clever rhyme in the working, so as soon as I hit 100 subscribers I shall be recording that. Still need to finish it, mind, but I'll still be recording it. And for everyone that's commented and liked my videos, thank you very much. It's not often that I actually give praise, not that I don't want to, it's just that, you know, it's only recently that people have actually started hitting the channel up properly and, you know, taking notice of actually what's there. So I hope you enjoy the channel, and that's from Spirits as well, who is Kris, if you're wondering. I am Jay Nova. So from me and Kris, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you all next time for some more Yogspack Complete. Adios amigos.